Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Clifton Boland. Thank you for joining me. You know, with all the crazy stuff going on, yes, with all the crazy stuff going on in government and our surroundings, it's good every now and again to hear some good news. And that good news is that a Kentucky, I believe it's a Kentucky coach, has called for a separate division for trans athletes because the trans man, the biological male by the name of Lia Thomas, I believe, was tied in the swimming contest with a biological woman. So because of this tie, the coach called for a separate division or trans division within the league that would allow these men who want to be women, basically, want to be trans men, trans whatever, an opportunity to compete with each other. Now, to me, that's good news. So we're going to get into this article because I got some things I have to say about this. So we're going to get into this article. Let's get into this. And the title of the article is Kentucky Swimmer Joins Coach's Call for a Trans Division After Tie with Lia Thomas. And as I said earlier, we all know that Lia Thomas is the male, that the trans male, the biological male who is now a woman, and he's been competing with women and winning. So the article says University of Kentucky swimmer Riley Gaines applauded the World Swimming Coaches Association (WSCA) call to create a separate division for transgender athletes in an interview with Fox News on Friday. Before I read any further, let me say this right up front. Whatever a man or woman wants to be, this is always going to be a disclaimer when it comes to this kind of stuff. Whatever a man or woman wants to be, if a man wants to be a woman, if a woman wants to be a man, that's your choice. You are a consenting adult. My problem is with you trying to push this on our children and biological men or biological males competing in sports with biological females. That's the problem I have. But if you, as an adult, if you want to be that, that's your choice. I don't care. You can be if you want to be a car, if you want to be a stove, if you want to be a dog or a cat, I don't care. It doesn't add anything to me. It doesn't take anything to me. So that's a disclaimer. Let's continue this article. Gaines tied for 5th place in the 200-yard freestyle NCAA swimming championships with Lia Thomas, a biological male competing in women's sports. Gaines said there is, quote, a night and day difference between male and female athletes. I applaud this woman for being strong and speaking out. She goes on to say, obviously in a sports like swimming, where it is based on your individual performance and it requires things like your power and your stamina and your strength and endurance, all these things that women are just typically disadvantaged at over men, she continues. And there is a picture of Miss Gaines standing next to Mr. or Mrs. Lia Thomas on the left. He's on the left. I said he's on the left. She's on the right. Now, if you want to see this picture, of course, I'll leave a link to this article in the description box below. You can type www.breitbart.com and look the title of this article up, and you will see a picture of it. He's standing on the left. She's standing on the right. They're both holding I guess their awards in their arms, and she's looking up at him like, I don't know why she's looking, but this is look, you'll see it. It's this look on her face like, this is crazy. And this man towers over her. This man towers over her. She looks like a midget compared to him. And I believe that it was a tie, and I'm giving you my opinion. I believe it was a tie because to piggyback off of another fellow conservative YouTuber who spoke on this similar incident like this several months ago, because he's getting a lot of backlash for competing against these women, he's not giving it his all in these swimming contests. He's not giving it his all because he don't want it to be so obvious that he's a male. Man, come on. This man looks like he's standing 7 feet tall. So the article goes and say, WSCA recently called for creating a trans division that would allow transgender athletes to compete separate from women. I totally agree with that assessment. I totally agree. Create a separate one. It may cost more. It may cost some money, but create a separate one, because this is a very, very unfair comparison. It's unfair. Men biologically have an advantage over women biologically. To me, that's not even worth arguing. For the most part, men are biologically, physically stronger than women. Now, I've seen situations many, many years ago. When I say years ago, I mean back when I was a teenager, where there was this one young lady who weighed like 300 pounds. Her name was Azalea. And she was known to be able to beat up on people. Now, I've never seen her beat up on any man, but everybody was talking about how good she could fight or whatever. And one particular time, I guess she was standing next to her locker, and some guy, big burly guy, mistakenly ran into her. And she grabbed him and grabbed him almost like a bear hug and pushed him against the locker. And I'm looking at this, and I could tell that he let her do that. He let her do it. He let her grab him, because in his mind, he was probably thinking, oh, she can fight. But I'm pretty sure that if he had punched her, because she was shorter than he was. She was bigger, but she was shorter. Had he punched her, she'd have probably been out. Just saying, people. Let's read on. For the sport of swimming, the inclusion of transgender people on the grounds of fairness cannot coexist in the current competition model, the WSCA said in a statement. Swimming should choose to offer competition in which the female category is protected for reasons of competitive fairness. The WSCA continued, a coach's historical role has been to expand the sport and create the best competitive opportunities for our athletes. The trans situation affords us the same opportunity. We must protect female sports, but we must endeavor to create fair competition for everyone. It could be seen that trans males have become lost in this debate. And I agree with what they're saying. Okay, we got to protect the women, because it's unfair for these biological males to be competing with them. They have an advantage over them. But we want to be fair. We want to be fair. So these trans men still want to compete in the sports. So we create a separate division for them. Now, I wonder how this is going to pan out, but we'll see. Gaines said that to pretend the biological differences do not exist defies logic, reason, science, and common sense. Bingo. She also talked about communicating with Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn about the transgender athlete issue. Gaines says she intends to introduce and fight for legislation amending Title IX to protect women's sports, which she would name Title XX after the 2 female chromosomes. That's cute. That's cute. And that's the end of that article right there. You can read the rest of that on your own free time. But I totally agree. I am totally against biological males competing against biological females. Now, somebody may argue, well, these biological males are taking, what do they call them, hormone pills or hormone injections or whatever to lessen their muscle mass and everything. And when you see this guy in the photo, when you take a time to look on the article, and you see a photo of him, there's a distant photo of him, and he seems to be very frail and skinny. So perhaps that may be contributed to some kind of injections that he's taking to lessen his muscle mass. Okay, whatever the case may be. But here's the problem. You have to take these injections to lessen your muscle mass. So that shows you right there that you biologically superior than the biologically superiorly strong than a woman. If you have to get injections to lessen your muscle mass, that already shows you that you're a male, bruh. So, but I want to end this article on this. Where is the feminist? Now, I talked about this. I argued this in a video I made several months ago, and I'm going to bring that back up. The question is, where are the feminists when you really need them? Here is a clear case of discrimination against women. You have a biological male competing against a biological woman. Just so this time it happened to be that they were tied, okay? In 5th place, both was tied for reasons that I already gave early, in my opinion, of why this was so. However, where is the feminist in a situation like this? You would think that in an obvious case of discrimination, that they would be up protesting. I'll tell you where. First of all, I have no problem with feminism in and of itself. In other words, what I mean by that is moderate feminism. I'm all in support of a woman getting a career and bettering herself. I'm all in support of that. Okay. I have no problem with that. If she wants to better herself, I have no problem with that. It's radical feminism that I come against. Radical feminism believes that the male is oppressive and domineering, and he needs to be eradicated and replaced by the matriarch or the female. That's one of the reasons why you see a lot of these movies coming out with these so-called strong female. I'm talking about recent ones now, not the older ones from the 70s and 80s with Sigourney Weaver, who, not those. Those were clear, strong females, but they had a feminine aspect and they were believable. But a lot of these modern movies, these woke movies with these female leads in it, is portraying a message. Okay, a lot of the screenplays are written by radical feminists or men themselves who support radical feminism. And they're pushing the ideology upon the viewing audience that the man needs to be eradicated, especially the white male, okay, the right heterosexual male, but the man needs to be eradicated and replaced by the almighty woman. That's what that's all about. Now, going back to this incident here, I believe that the radical feminists are silent about situations like this. It's because, as I said in the previous video several months ago, they're silent because men that want to be women is falling right into what they want. They want the male image destroyed, right? So if you have a male that feels like he wants to be a female, why do they need to say anything? The male that feels like he wants to be a female is fitting right into what they want, which is the eradication of the male. So males that want to be females or transgender males or females or whatever, they don't need to say anything. They don't need to say anything. Why would they say anything? You fit right into the agenda, the far left agenda that they have, which is to totally eradicate strong alpha males out of the picture. So that's where they at. They're going to always be silent because they have an agenda. They have a satanic, demonic agenda. But in ending this video on that note, so applaud this group and I applaud this lady. Okay, I hope and pray that there is a separate division for these individuals. But for these individual males that want to be these individual trans males that want to be females, okay, that's your choice. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to, okay? Do your thing, bruh, okay? But when it comes to competing with biological females, it's illogical, wrong, and there's no way you can justify it. Man up, woman up, whatever you need to do, that's what you need to do, okay? So I'm going to end the article on that note. What do you guys think about this? I applaud this lady. I applaud that organization for attempting to do this. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button. Share this video and subscribe. God bless you all and see you again on another Black Conservative with Ryan Bowling.